Let's go to Disneyland to kick off the holidays. My goal this weekend was to soak in the magic of Disneyland at the start of the holiday season. This time, I didn't bring my kids because I wanted to experience the parks through a different lens, taking time to meet with friends, join a guided tour, and document the trip. I know this isn't always an option for neurodivergent parents, so I truly don't take this for granted. Plus, I wanted to note all the sensory considerations for the holidays at Disneyland to share with you. I arrived on Thursday night. The evening started with a quick shopping trip since I had already checked out some of the holiday merchandise. Then I met up with friends for dinner and headed to Galaxy's Edge to watch the fireworks. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is a spot to catch them. They're synchronized with Star Wars music, and you have a lot of extra space in the area, making it more comfortable for those who have a hard time with crowds. After the fireworks, we made our way to Toontown to ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Then we headed over to Winnie the Pooh, and then we checked out the queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which was opening the next day. I closed down the park that night and walked around just before closing. If you can stay late, it's worth it to take in the sights and sound with thinned out crowds. Plus, you get some really cool photos. It's Friday morning. It's the official start of the holiday season. I was up early to secure a spot at 7 a.m. for the virtual queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Unfortunately, I missed the virtual queue, but luckily I was able to snag a Lightning Lane reservation. Check out my full ride overview in a separate video on my channel. By 7:25, I was through the gates, earlier than I'd ever been. If you're looking to beat the rush, rope dropping is key. While my family usually prefers a later, slower start to the day, mornings at Disneyland are prime for photos, meeting characters, and enjoying a ride on one of the Main Street vehicles. My favorite is the omnibus. Grab the top deck front seat for the best views as you ride down Main Street to the castle. Before my Lightning Lane for Tiana, I checked out some of the holiday offerings at Galactic Grill. I tried the Darth by Peppermint. This was a pass for me. And the Christmas Punch, which I really liked. If you're visiting with someone with sensory sensitivities, I recommend bringing comfort items and scheduling breaks for sensory resets. The holiday season is beautiful but busy, with new sounds like festive music playing throughout the park, increased crowds, and all the festive decor and lighting. Next up was meeting Santa at Fantasyland Theater. Santa is available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Fantasyland Theater is a perfect spot for taking a break. It's shaded with plenty of seating, there's classic cartoons playing, and even a craft area where you can write letters to Santa. While it's not necessarily quiet, there is a lot of space for you to sit and relax. From there, I headed to It's a Small World Holiday. This is a can't-miss ride that's beautifully rethemed for the holidays. Some sensory considerations. This ride is about 15 minutes long. It features bright lighting, continuous music, and you're on a boat seated with other guests. It's a good spot for air conditioning, although it's a little chilly now, and a nice break for your feet. I also made time for Haunted Mansion Holiday. That's another seasonal must-do. My kids loved this ride during the holidays. It's themed for both Halloween and Christmas, featuring the rethemed Nightmare Before Christmas. As the sun set, I headed to Main Street to watch the tree lighting ceremony at 5 p.m. Watching the lights and holiday decor come to life is magical, but this area gets very crowded. If you want a little bit more space and elbow room, try viewing the tree lighting from the train platform. You can also visit near City Hall or further back on Main Street. I kicked off Saturday with some holiday shopping at World of Disney before joining the Holiday Time Guided Tour. This 2-hour walking tour covers Disneyland and DCA with stories about holiday traditions and Walt Disney's personal touches, like gifts he gave his wife Lillian. With the purchase of this tour, you get a holiday pin, reserved seating for the Christmas Fantasy Parade, a hot cocoa, and a gingerbread cookie. While I enjoyed it, this tour isn't for everyone. It involves a lot of walking and standing, so I'd recommend it for Disney history buffs or families with older kids who don't mind a slower pace. For me, the reserved seating and treats made it worth it, but I think I would pass going forward. That night, I finally tried the holiday food I'd been eyeing at Jolly Holiday. The turkey pot pie soup was delicious, as well as the chocolate snow globe cake, which was just as good as I remembered from last year. And I also was able to grab a couple of Mickey Gingerbread Cookies. Those will sell out fast, so you definitely need to mobile order those ahead of time. On Saturday night, I also hopped over to DCA to check out the holiday decor in Cars Land. From a sensory perspective, the lights and the decor is much more muted compared to Disneyland. After a quick walk around the park, I made it back to Disneyland in time to watch the fireworks in my family's favorite fireworks spot. If this is your first time to Disneyland, I recommend trying to see the fireworks in front of the castle. You need to experience that at least once. But now we need a little bit more room and seating, so we always watch in front of It's a Small World. Sunday was my last day. I checked out of the hotel early and spent a few hours at DCA. My goal was to try food from the Festival of Holiday booths. I grabbed a few items and found a quiet spot at Sonoma Terrace. This area offers plenty of seating, shade, and a great view for parades, which is slightly away from the crowds. Before leaving DCA, I also wanted to see Santa, so I headed over to Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. Santa is also available at Disneyland like we covered at the Fantasyland Theater, and also at all 3 hotels. The holiday season at Disneyland is extra magical, with beautiful decorations and so many fun activities. If you're visiting with someone who has sensory sensitivities or needs more support, prepare by watching a video like this to get a feel for what to expect. I hope you found this helpful. Please like and subscribe for more tips to Disneyland and neurodivergent travel.